It's time for the Average Black Man Show.
Got the work week done, clocking out, no rushing. About to hit the YouTube streets. Now it's time for a discussion. Only come with the real, can't be fake or frontin'. Don't run from the conversation, there ain't no ducking. Sit back, sip some wine, get into the vibe. Go hit the link and come up on the live. Jump on in the comments and let me pick your mind. Opinions flying free, let's let our thoughts collide. It's the Average Black Man Show, talking about everything you need to know. Sometimes things may get a little heated, but these conversations are needed to help the community heal and grow. Accountability, responsibility, reciprocity, respectability.
Can't hear you.
All right, and we're back to another episode of the Average Black Man Show. Welcome to Let's Have the Conversation, and today we're gonna be reacting to some videos of this trending story that's been topic really, because it's led to a lot of conversations about race and a lot of racism going on in the world. So with the Carmelo Anthony, and then that got followed up with the Nolan case. So it's a whole lot of racial things been going on in the world lately. We can react to a couple of videos. I don't want to play too much. If the language gets wild, I'm gonna have to stop it just because of I don't want to get the channel flagged. All right. Is there anything y'all interested in talking about too, or y'all just want to see where the conversation goes?
The usual, see where it go.
All right. I'm about to click on this first video. A healthcare worker. Let me know if y'all don't hear.
Black people. I had my first day today at a new job, and basically, without going too far into it, my job is to schedule care for people that need it. A lot of this job is going through applications for people who want to give care. I learned today, if it is a name that does not sound right, we are to move it to the completed tasks. We then note your application as moved due to name standards. Now, it's my first day, so I asked, what does that mean? I'm Black, very light-skinned, obviously. And she says, and I said, you mean like our names? Like our names? Because I thought it was like a brand standard, like, no, it's literally our names. So I just want you to know, and everybody else to know, this 100% happens, and I have 122 screenshots of people, their names, their phone numbers, and their email addresses, and the reason why they weren't hired directly because of their name. Then I have this. I didn't even make it 1 hour. After I got my heart rate to stop spiking, I went and found the owner like I planned and asked her directly, super calm. She didn't deny any of it. She admitted that it's, fucked up. She apologized. I told her that I don't think this is going to be a good fit. Black people.
Wow. That's crazy, huh?
Man,
But I'm quite sure that that would happen to just about anybody. Like if they don't want a certain type in there, you know, if you have like a Spanish last name or like a last name that ends with ski, the Polonowskis or something, like they'll throw those people in the same type of pool as well. I don't really think it's just targeted just us. I think that's all around, in my opinion.
Well, I know that because of my name, I've always got calls for interviews and stuff like that, and they be surprised I show up and be black. You know what I'm
Drew,
saying?
Drew,
I mean, this is something that's been going on for a long time. People have been speaking out against this for a while, and that just goes to show that the systematic racism still exists. That's another proof that it still exists.
Right. That ain't went nowhere.
Because if you
but
look
isn't
at
that
her, she says she's black, right? But if you look at her, you would think Hispanic,
No,
right? That's the first.
she looked like a red bone. She looked like she biracial. I think she said she was biracial.
She said I'm black, but whatever. It doesn't. So she was able to get hired or whatever the case may be, and then to find out that they have this is crazy. I'm just over it. Like I'm over it. But that just goes back to Timotheus why healthcare isn't free in this country anyway. Because they never wanted us to get it. It actually wrote a book about it saying that if they denied us healthcare within 2 years we would be dead.
Yeah, they thought we was gonna die off if we didn't get
Mm-hmm.
help. And what that ended up doing is preventing poor white people.
Yeah.
They voted against their own interests in the name of racism. It's crazy. We was just talking about that too.
Yep.
Let me go to another video. You got anybody else got anything to say?
I would say you got to sacrifice a few for the cause.
You say what? You got to sacrifice some people for the cause.
Yep.
He talking about
Well,
the
they would.
white people.
Yeah, no, I mean they didn't see what happens is they never realize that they have to sacrifice their own, and then once they realize it, they be like, all right, well, we can sacrifice these few, but to get rid of the greater whole. But how did that work for them? Because we're still here.
It worked out. It actually worked out just fine because
It worked out.
for them, when I say them, I mean the powers that be, because that kind of started around Bacon's Rebellion when they pitted poor blacks and poor whites against each other in order for the elites and the rich to, not have the poor people rebel against them, because Bacon's Rebellion was worrisome for them because the last thing they needed was for poor black people and poor white people to come together and rise up. So they had to create a system to where, you might be poor, you might be hungry, you might be doing bad, at least you ain't you know what I mean?
But I mean, just overall, the whole plan to wipe us out, it never worked. Nothing ever works. I don't know when they're gonna start. When are they gonna realize no matter what they do, we're still here?
We're okay. It's like I'll put it like this way. It's more like I need you to be domesticated, like completely. Like you can't have no sense of who you are. It's like having like the lion in the zoo, not knowing it's a lion. So as long as we continue to do the systematic plan, the more generations that are I say like from two generations away, like a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now, they won't even have no notion about it because that's just the systematic part about it. It's like they did it with us with the turbans and the sandals, the feathers and everything. So it's like we don't talk about those things. So like what we're saying now is just not going to be relevant in the next two generations unless us start doing things like building industries. Because if you're going and relying on them, you're gonna always complain about something because you're always going to somebody else in hopes of them giving you something instead of you creating your own industry.
But you don't think that everybody's entitled to health care?
Like that one, I would say yeah, but it's like even at that time, even if I give out free healthcare, right? I don't think all of the free healthcare would be equally given out.
Distributed.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's still people that don't have health care. I think it's like how can I say this? So when Obama came up with Obamacare, which was really Mitt Romney's baby, right? People that were so against the Obama, but they ended up sick when they realized they can get health care for their sicknesses. That's when they was like, he did the best thing he could, but I mean, when you follow the trend of them not wanting us to get health care and how many times they rejected the notion of having free health care just so that we couldn't get it, it just shows another form of systematic racism.
Okay. My question to you is this, because we always have the trauma type of conversation. My thing is, why don't we have our own healthcare companies? We had our own insurance companies before, so why it's like we have it's like you have billionaires, like nobody could do anything.
I
Is
mean,
there
it's not
anything?
that people can't do it, people don't want to do it. You saying we have billionaires, once they get to a certain tax bracket, they no longer belong to us. Unless there's some people that like Colin Kaepernick, who stands for the injustices of our people. They
Okay,
no
so
longer belong to
what
us.
is that?
Like,
What is that though?
well,
Like,
what do you mean? What is it? Like, can you elaborate on that?
okay, so if you're saying that they no longer belongs to us, right? What is it to make them feel that they no longer belong to us?
Well, I honestly believe that they're told that they can do but so much for us. And if they decide they want to go above and beyond and do more, then they destroy them. So I give it and I'll take it away.
So
And
control.
nobody's gonna risk their millions or billions, because that's the selfish mindset.
So what's that? That's like psychological warfare then, right?
It's part of it, yeah.
I will reward few and make many suffer, or look up to that one. So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but it's like at that time, it's like I'll, I'm I look at it this way. Okay, you look at the 1900s. These people were coming out of the fields, developing cities, right? I don't understand how come that's not happening now when we have way more of these degrees, or is it not about the damn degrees?
Because every
Um,
city, every city that was built, right? And I agree with you. We definitely, when you go back and you look at the 1800s, how many cities were built, there was always some systematic way that they took it. Either whether it was a government takeover or just a bunch of people getting together to burn it down and run people out, or. So what they would do is, like, even if they built towns, they would divert the business, right? They would build a train and then they would divert the train so that it doesn't stop in that section, and now you
Right.
have people having to move out of those sections, or they would flood it, or they would do something. America is eminent domain. A lot of people do not understand that. They can, if
uh,
you bought some land, you never own land here, you never own it.
Right.
They'll
Check
come and take it.
check
so
this out, because what you're saying, the next video, I don't even know if I really got to play it because it was about, I don't know. Well, I think you know about that group called White and Proud. I loved being white or
Yeah,
whatever on Facebook.
yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
this right here is something somebody posted, and what you just said, kind of go with this because it mentions accountability and responsibility for one group, but excludes themselves.
Hmm.
White envy, a noun. When black or other non-white people who live in a predominantly white culture feel envious of the society because their ancestors lacked the skills, knowledge, or possessions of others in the dominant culture, often resulting in resentment and demands for reparation instead of accepting personal responsibility for their
Hmm.
own situations and working to improve their lives through hard work, discipline, and other ethical means of achieving success and happiness.
Oh, the old pull yourself up by the bootstrap thing, right?
It's, you know, and the crazy part about it is that this is something that they really teach and they really believe. But it's like, are y'all forgetting about Jim Crow? That it was literally laws put in place to stop black people from even from doing stuff, from buying homes in certain neighborhoods, from to this day in the and what is it, the real estate code, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it still says that black people lower property value, which is that old saying, there goes the neighborhood. That's what that
Hmm.
comes from. As soon as a black person move in the neighborhood, like, oh, there goes the neighborhood.
Moving to whose neighborhood? Here, here,
Right.
here's the thing.
Welcome Tammy to the panel, and Meech is back.
Hey, Tammy.
Here, here's the here's the thing. Do ants ever stop building a mound?
No,
Hey.
So why did you stop building?
we weren't allowed to build. We were
Right.
you got
The question,
you got to factor that in. Okay, so your parents grew up in the same Jim Crow that my parents grew up in. So
right?
so they had to work the what Donald Trump still, he still got that mindset. They could only work black jobs.
Right. I
They
get
could
you.
only right. So they weren't even they were already afraid to put their money in the bank because the bank would steal their money and say you niggas never had this money. So that's where the brown
Right.
paper bag. That's where the brown paper bag up under the mattress came from.
Okay.
Hmm.
So it's
Okay.
so we did work with the best scraps that we can given. Even in like you remember that movie Rosewood? Don Cheadle had a piano like that. He got a piano. I ain't got a
Right.
So it's the opposite of this. This talking about white envy. They you know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. That's my point. Ants never stop building. So you saying that they set up these things? Yeah. They
Oh, I see what you're saying.
like an ant would never stop building. You could destroy the mound, they're gonna go right back to it, bro.
But I
And it's
think
like,
we never stopped building. I think we never stopped building until it got to a point where they made it so that they sold up all of the property so that we couldn't build these towns anymore. They have so many, like there was this one guy, and I forget his name, where he was the judge there. He built a military force there. He did all of these things in this town, and they still came in and took it, like Black Wall Street. That's the most famous one, but there's hundreds and
This
hundreds, if not thousands more.
right.
right,
This comment caught my attention. This so sister out in the UK put, I've always found conversations like this fascinating. We don't have many of them here in the UK. And is that a culture thing that because I know here we got the whole notion of freedom of speech. So we get to say things, even though a lot of us don't know the real meaning of freedom of speech, we
Right.
exploit it. we exploit the ignorance of not knowing. But in the UK, do you guys not have racism? You
man,
panel?
racist.
They absolutely do.
They got to, man. It's I would feel with them, it's kind of the same way, bro. Like I would see it no different because they have lineage of the Moors there. So it's just like that shit ain't that shit ain't changed, man.
But I think, I just feel like we Timothy says this all the time, how we reinvent ourselves all the time. So it shows that we are a resilient people. No matter what they've done, no matter how many times they've tried, they cannot get rid of us. But again, the way they set up the government is set up the way, it's like if I went out and bought 100 acres of land right now and I started to build, and what's stopping them from coming in and taking it once they see, oh, these too many people over here, they got a hospital, they got a school, they got a church, they got a bank. All of these things existed before for our people,
Right.
Right.
so it's like, it's not like
There
we
was
didn't try.
literally hundreds. There was literally
Right.
hundreds of cities.
It's not like we weren't doing it. It was past try, it was done. And the
Right.
minute it was done, they come in, and I think that also kind of scared our elders, our ancestors, right? Because like Timothy said, now people are scared to invest their money because they know that these people are going to find a way to come in and destroy or take everything that they build.
So,
Well,
but
it's
that's
even
anywhere though.
deeper. It's even deeper than that. That fear has been so instilled in us as a people. When Black Lives Matter has a different reputation now than when it first started. But when it first started, you see that those 3 women that started it, none of them came up and said that I'm the leader and I'm running it, because history
Right.
shows that whenever we have a leader, they take them out.
Yep.
So out of fear of not being taken out, they was like, ain't none of us the leader.
I think it's so many people that could come out and respectably be the face and be what we're looking for, but they're afraid because look what they do. They do it every time. They take them out.
Nah, the problem is like you're always looking for something instead of looking within yourself. That's the biggest problem.
Well,
Because
I
it's
don't.
always you're looking for a leader. And I don't need no leader. I'm like, I need whatever you need to be the best person that you can be, and be comfortable with you inside. And then you have principles and morals with your own. But the principles and all that stuff doesn't exist with us. Like the morals and everything is out the door. And that's one of the arts of war. Will take and demoralize the nation. That's the best way to actually end a nation, is to demoralize
It's
it.
never
And
going to
that's where
be.
we're at.
It's never for us. It's never going to be that way, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because technically, we're not the ones doing all the crime. There's a very small percentage of us doing all the crime, but yet every day when you turn on the news, what do they do? They make us
Man,
the face of everything.
you on point right now. Like, you on point. You are so on point. Look at this. Look at
How
this.
is that though?
Look.
I want
Because
to make it clear as a white mom that there are plenty of white kids out there doing shit and they just never get caught. Or if they get caught, it gets squashed. We have problems all along the beaches with e-bikes and fights. There's a huge case out of Arizona called the Gilbert Goons. It's affluent white boys beating the crap out of people. And these affluent white boys beating the crap out of people never made the national news until they actually killed somebody on Halloween a couple years ago. And guess what? It made the news for like 2 seconds. This message says, stop trying to blame Black kids and blame the OC Irvine kids. This comment is in regards to a video that I made about takeovers. I want to make it real clear that when I picked the images of my last video, I picked based on location. And I literally picked pictures based on.
That's the end of that video. But that's what you were just talking about. We don't commit all the crimes, but we get the face of it.
if you ever notice when they say, black boy named such and such who came from a single mother who father was locked up, but when it's a white boy, it's
Troubled teen.
or not even that, white man. They don't even go into the name or anything. We are villainized, and again, to me, and this is just me, it just goes to show that there's something very special about us, that they cannot live without villainizing us. Why do we always have to be the villain and everything? It just doesn't make sense, because it's a systematic thing. They
You know what?
realize no matter what they've done, they cannot get rid of us. They would, if they could get rid of us, they would, but they notice they can't. Even with this thing going on with this immigration, we are the only people here that can't be immigrated off this land.
You could be
They can't do
exiled.
nothing with us.
You could be exiled.
They can't do nothing with us.
You could be exiled. W.E.B. Du Bois was exiled.
W.E.B. Du Bois was part of the Boule, which is part of the 9 family gatekeepers. Like,
Right.
we gotta, that's another thing. We look up to these people, but those specific 9 groups were meant to keep the average black person out of these higher
Right.
echelon
Yep.
of people.
Yes. But what the difference is that they chose to assimilate and join forces with the very people that you say that is racist.
Right. Because they were part of the eugenics. They were for eugenics. W.E.B. Du Bois actually told Margaret Sanger, if you want to reach black people, you got to go through the pulpit to do it.
Yep.
And that's when she opened up her second Planned Parenthood location right here in Harlem. The building is still there.
Yeah.
So
And like that's like that goes back to it. So y'all saying that we are villainized in media, right? Where's our industry? Like back in the day, we had at least had like our somewhat control of our media, especially like news. We had like the African, what was that? The African something like newspaper. So we had our own publications that we will educate our own people. But now we're so reliant on what they give us. So they're gonna, of course, if I'm controlling the media, I'm gonna protect myself and just put whatever the hell else I want and make somebody else a target. It has to be that way for everything to work.
and again, that's systematic. They knew that we were like in Brooklyn, they had like this first black newspaper and they burned it out. They destroy everything we have. Or if we get the people who own these things, they sell it to these companies. Like soon as they sold BET, they got rid of Teen Summit. They got rid of all of the things that we had that were positive.
Right. Yeah.
So this is
But
why these things happen.
yeah, you have no control. Like if you look at it, like everything you're saying is that you're going to them for everything. So you can't complain if you constantly going to somebody. Like beggars can't be choosers. You know what I mean? Like you can't be choosy.
But we're not
So
begging. We didn't beg. They took whatever we built, they destroyed.
I get that. I
So
get
that's
that.
not us begging. That's us saying, look, we had all of these things before, and you guys came and took everything away from us. Now we want to get these things back. That's not begging. That's just letting them know, pointing out, like, we see you. You're not
Okay.
like, we see you. We see what you've done. So that's
I
not
didn't.
begging.
No, I didn't mean it as like it's actual begging. I just was saying just you know what people would say like a beggar can be choosy.
Like
I
it's
wasn't
getting
saying that
so
like
bad
that.
now, and I don't mean to cut you off. It's getting so bad now that our so-called president is trying to get the FCC to get rid of the NBC, ABC. He's trying to get rid of the companies that are the ones who like. Listen, it's getting crazy. But again, it's not like we didn't have these things, but systematically they owned everything, so they was able to take it away.
You know the whole ill part about it is that the very thing that you mentioned, like the vine, like the line, whatever they call it, um, through that type of working, since man, I lost. Never mind. I lost my train train of thought. Yeah, never mind.
Right, so it's like, what do we do? Because if you went and bought a news station right now and tried to report, you know, a black kid is going to college at 14, you're gonna be like, yeah, no. So they frame us as being the degenerates of society, and
Okay.
people, some of our own people are buying into it.
Oh, definitely.
What I find so interesting about that whole narrative that gets spent is that we are the degenerates and despicable and deplorables of society. Well, why is it that they appropriate us in our culture so like you mentioned earlier? I've been saying it.
Hmm.
We've had to reinvent ourselves so many times because they came and appropriated our culture.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what's crazy? Like, you remember Slater from Saved by the Bell?
Yeah,
Like, I watched
Mario
like a
Mario
video.
Lopez.
Yeah, I watched a video of him dancing. And I was like, damn, like bro, like he just stole like the whole little the whole little jig right quick. I was like, man, that's crazy. Like that shit was funny as hell. But like
The
it's the,
Well, well Mario Lopez is from LA though, so he's gonna, you know what I mean? He's gonna have that kind
yeah,
of flavor.
uh,
Like,
but
have
it
you seen the interview with him?
uh,
Well, have you seen the interview with him? And they were asking about the street tacos and stuff, and he was like talking like a whole like real like LA Mexican. And people were
for
like,
real.
"Wait, where did this accent come from?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not on TV. This is how I really speak." Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's the
I
code
think
switch. The code.
he's behind what's that, something like fools or something on Instagram. They talking about the higher the socks, the downer the food.
Uh, the young lady in the comments in the UK, if you open to come onto the panel, you're welcome. Because I'm reading her stuff. She's saying in the UK they deported a lot of Jamaican immigrants, and a lot of them were never ever lived in Jamaica, and they were born in the UK. See, but
Uh,
say I don't know the laws over there because we got a 14th Amendment of the
mm,
Constitution that says anybody born on the soil is a citizen.
that's a tricky one, man. You gotta that's born or naturalized,
Yeah,
and
naturalization. Right,
and it says
naturalization.
persons. It also says
Person,
person. So
person,
that's
right.
a that's a tricky one, bro.
That's the tricky word because a corporation can be a person.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So can't really say. We always go to that 14th Amendment and don't really understand that bit. That's not that's not what it that's not what it is. Like that 14th Amendment is exactly why all that stuff that you're talking about now is in place, because when you go and look at it, it's the second clause of it, which you will go find, and it will say that the president can pardon like the former Confederate people. So once the president pretty much reinstated the Confederate like generals and all that stuff and put them back into politics, it was a wrap from that point. So you always praise the 14th Amendment. It's the same thing how like Kaepernick was like, go into that third stanza of the national anthem and expose that shit. Same thing with the 14th Amendment.
Well, I got the 14th Amendment right here. What we looking for? What
Check it out.
section we looking for?
The second clause.
Second clause, sections 2.
Yeah,
Representatives shall be. I don't know if I can zoom in because I know it's probably small.
Scottish birthday.
It's not letting me zoom.
like 14th Amendment don't say nothing about no black people at all.
It's but the 14th Amendment is the baby follows the belly, and it was absolutely made for us to make sure that
So
we were.
All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United
subjects,
States
federal
and
subjects.
and of the state wherein they reside.
Mm-hmm.
No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protections under the law. That's the first section. Representatives shall be apportioned among several states according to their respective numbers, counting a whole number of persons in each state, excluding Indians, not taxed. But when the right to vote at any election for the choice of electors for president and vice president of the United States, representatives in Congress, the executive and judicial officers of a state, or the members of the legislature, therefore, is denied to any male inhabitants of such state between 21 years of age and citizens of the United States, or any way abridged except for participation in rebellion or crime. And that's what it is. You got the right to vote and everything. Unless you rebel, you commit treason or commit a crime and go to prison, become a felon.
Question.
What's up?
It said Indians are not taxed, right?
Are not taxed. Yep.
Okay. So that specifies somebody, right?
Right. When the law is not supposed to specify anybody. That's
Okay.
a good point. That's a good catch. That's a good catch.
Okay. Like you need to go read that shit for yourself. Like
Section 3, no person shall be a senator or representative of Congress or an elector or the president or the vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or any state who has previously taken an oath as a member of who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of any state legislature, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall engage in any insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid of comfort of the enemies therefore. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability.
there it is. That's the monster.
I appreciate you staying up with us. Over in the UK, it's almost 4 a.m. Good night, sis. Section 5, Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation of provisions of this article. So with that being said, let's go look at the 13th.
You don't want to go do that one, bro. You do that 13th. Well, I'm telling you, like the very same people that you were talking about gave us that the 14th Amendment made you a citizen. Those are the very same people who sent you down that path. You need to go read that shit for yourself. Because them niggas was taught to mislead you. Anytime you go, I won't even. I'll stop there.
Why? Why stop there?
It's just crazy. It's like anytime you just look at the history, like study the history of all this, you have what they call them the HB, the historical black colleges, right? When you go back and look at the original names of those institutions, or look at why they were put into place, they were put into place to keep the people docile, for one. Because they was like, what are we gonna do with these people that just have been, like, I guess the way they seen it, like released. So they were like, okay, we could put them into these institutions, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna teach them how to be preachers and teach them how to be teachers, more likely for the women. The preachers are for the men. So once they were able to control the church, the same thing what you were saying, they got to go to the pulpit. What you were saying with W.B. Du Bois, it's the same. It's the same exact thing. That's how they ran it because they was historically black. It was it HBTU TIs. Like that's like one of the other names of them as well. Most people know just the HBCU, but it's the same thing. You look at Martin Luther King. Let's look at this like his family. His family was nothing like him. Like each had to change his whole name. Look at the founders of the NAACP. Just go look at that, pull that up, and tell, and you see who
Well,
founded that bitch.
we know that white people was behind every movement that we had. We know
Okay,
that.
so look at it. So look at it. You're fighting for civil rights. They don't fight for civil rights. They fight for human rights.
Well,
So
I
they already
mean,
sent you on a dummy mission already.
well,
They sent you on a dummy mission.
I think we should know that because if you look at how old Martin Luther King was, he was 19 years old when they found him.
Right,
Like there was so many more seasoned pastors that they could have used. So we
right.
know, and that's why shortly, prior to his death, he realized that he made a mistake. But you got to, Martin Luther King went to school with these people. He didn't look at them the way the average black person of that time looked at them, until he started seeing certain things, and it was like, hold up, you know.
Well,
So
it
I
is
don't
what it
blame
is.
him. I think, people was like, oh, we didn't need that. We was doing all these things by ourselves and we didn't
And
need
you were.
to, yeah, but again, we were, but they were being destroyed from the 1700s because in the
We
1700s,
we're
they
talking about
had,
the '60s though.
hold on,
We're, t-
in
we're
1700s, we had, during the middle of slavery, there were black towns where they owned
okay.
everything
Facts.
in the middle
But
of slavery. So this is where when they start talking slavery, it's bullshit. Like the story has just been greatly embellished.
okay, question. Let me ask you this question. So in the 1700s, were those people calling themselves black?
No,
So why are you calling yourself black?
I mean I'm in agreement with you. Our first title on this land was Negro, and it was Negro in Spanish,
Mm, wonder
right?
why.
And then because that's when Spain and Portugal and all these people was coming over, then it went from Negro to Indian. Because we
Hmm.
absolutely was classified as Indian at one point.
Yeah, same thing.
Then it went to Negro again. And then from Negro it
Right.
went to colored. From colored it went to black. From black it went to Afro American first.
Afro American was actually the name we gave ourselves.
I'm just saying it
But
was
I'm
part
saying
of the
out of all of those titles, Afro American was the one term that we gave ourselves. All the other
other.
ones were sanctions by the state. And like Pa was talking about before, the original when it came to the
Mm.
context of mulatto, a mulatto meant a native and an African mixed together. That was the first mulatto.
Mm. Mm. That man,
And I mean, and it's weird because if you look at I look at my grandmother's birth certificate and hers absolutely says Negro. My mother says colored.
yeah, yep,
Mine
fact.
says black. And then my kids say African American. So you can see it if you still have your long
In,
form birth
in real
certificate.
time, right? In real
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
that's the point. So as long as you are playing the game, because we continuously play the game and then complain when nothing is happening. So it's like it's certain things that must happen to actually cause a dent and fuck up the ride. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
a lot of people don't believe in that. What you're saying, a lot of people don't believe in it because they just think, oh, this is some bullshit. But black absolutely goes hand in hand with the black codes. It goes
it,
hand in hand with certain laws that were put in place against us.
right.
So those
Exactly.
titles that they give us absolutely keeps us in slave status.
Yes, it does, and that's the whole thing. You know what I mean? And like one thing that we'll have issue with is when somebody else comes from another country and they say that they're not black, and you look at the skin tone, and they're like, "Well, you look black to me," and it's like, no, they understand what that is. Like you're not gonna put that classification on. But it's like here we're taught to accept it as and wear it as a badge of honor. When you pretty much you had like the Irish, the Chinese, the Sicilians were all pretty much in the same class as us, and they got up out of the class to where they're classified as like white. So it's like, why are we still attached to this thing? It makes no sense at this
Because
point.
we don't understand. We don't understand maritime law. We don't understand a lot of these things that connects to this. And the Moors tried to teach it, but again, they made Noble Drew Ali out to be a charlatan. So I'll say this. If anything, some of these Moorish brothers, the ones that can call themselves Moors, they know this law. I watched a brother actually write writs to discharge his debt. Then he wrote a writ to the what you call it? Tim Nation, the United Nations. They gave him land in St. Louis.
Mm.
So it's so much we could do, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's
people.
okay. And that, I'm glad you mentioned the United Nations, right? So when you look at what that is, or you have like a passport, when you read it, it pretty much says that anyone born has a right to a nationality, right?
Hmm.
So since anyone born has a right to nationality, not fucking membership to some stolen land, um, that's the focus that we need to be on. Because it's like the same way that you saying like they gave him some land because he applied for, I'm quite sure, his damn nationality or whatever. And it's like, why is it just the individual doing this shit unless they're testing it out to see what's going on?
Because people don't believe it. We we've been so programmed. I'm sorry. They have programmed us. The whole story of slavery is a program,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
It's a program because really a lot of us our ancestors were prisoners of war. That's a whole different title. And a lot of people don't it's I mean, the fight to get this information out is like pulling teeth, literally, where you have 7 sets of teeth. Because it's like, no, we came over here on a boat. Like, oh
Yeah,
my God, that is not the beginning of a lot of our history on this land.
right.
They made it like, oh, America was just this marshland, and when we got here, we had to build it up, and it was already built up. Like people was
Yeah.
already doing their thing, thriving here, and they want to make it out to be, the mongoloid, but
Nah, even if you just look at their original definition of what an American is, like it
mhm.
pretty much describes what American is, and it excludes them. It's like not of European descent. So it's like you already know that you're not.
Yeah, 1828 definition
Yep.
absolutely says now it applies to them.
Yeah. So it's like, come on now, it's like cut it out. Like, and the thing about it is like, I don't know. It's like you know how sometimes you're sleeping with the enemy. Like the people who actually fought for this land is like fought like against man. It's just crazy because it's okay. So you imagine this. You have us fighting in the American Revolutionary War on both sides. It's not going to matter. We're fighting on the British. We're fighting on uh, the what was that the colonial side.
Shout out to the
Then
info mongler in the comments. If you want to come up, let me know.
And then like even in the French Revolutionary War, like we've always been fighting against ourselves in these very same wars that for land. And it's like I really think that at that point in time, they're really putting us in the war against ourselves, but they're
Mm-hmm.
controlling the narrative from each side. It's like you can't really catch on to it. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
you're just destroying yourself. You know what I mean? And you're not really paying attention to it.
And
So
those of us who kept caught on to it, when we talk to people about it, they say we crazy. So
yeah,
yeah,
I can see that.
you don't know what you're talking about. But again, everybody's alarm clock doesn't go off at the same time.
Nah, not at all.
And
Uh,
see, because I'm very well versed in the understanding of these classifications and all of that. Because when you look at the law and you go all the way back to the beginning, like the term citizen was absolutely given for people with the classification of white, and you see the legacy of that when you see Egyptians with afros and be black as me come over here and be nationalized as white. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it gives credence to that idea that that title and still has some weight in law, even though they try to say that the Civil Rights Act is supposed to null and void it or whatever.
Nah,
mm-hmm.
but like the coldest part, you can look at that little girl, Sarah Rector. Like they reclassified her here.
Sarah who?
So Sarah Rector, it was a little girl. Like she had oil, and like they took her and reclassified her as white because she had so much money.
Oh yeah, they tried to get her to sell her land for nothing.
Yep.
But that's another thing too, and that this is something else that a lot of people don't believe. In order for them to keep their numbers as high as they do, they categorize people as white that aren't white.
When you look at okay, check this out. Look at the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Like there in that treaty, like that part of the treaty was like the people that was already in the lands that the United States was taking over, like as far as like Texas, you got New Mexico, Arizona, like California and all those stuff. The people was already there. So in that treaty, that the people that was already in those lands, no matter what the color was, they were to be classified as white. But once they took it over, they was like, nah, we can't do that. Like y'all are Negroes. And then the other ones just shut up. You know what I mean? But when they go apply for the stuff, they put down the white. Then you look at on there, it will say white, non-Hispanic as well, because it's like, okay, so which one are you?
Now you know what's interesting about the Sarah Rector? Sarah Rector was classified under the law as black as she was born as a member of the Muskogee Creek.
She's in Muskogee Creek.
So
In the
that go to show you
the
that go to show you
Muskogee
right there that black label don't mean don't mean African.
the Muskogee Creek people are they derive from the Yamasee when the Yamasee broke apart in order to save their lineage. So
So,
that's that's a whole nother story for another day. But yeah.
so what that mean though? Going back to that 14th Amendment. So what that mean?
Well, what it means is that they telling a lie. They been telling a lie. They've been telling a lie, but the 14th Amendment absolutely applies to us. This is why they can't do shit with us.
Nah, you look at the end of it. If you
Sarah
if you look if you look
Rector
at
was
the end,
classified as white because during the time she was alive, there were a number of legal statutes in place that would prevent her from having guardianship over her assets. So when she became of age, she had the money to get lawyers to reclassify her as white so she would have legal protections under the law.
ain't that a bitch?
But we are talking about 19 25 or something.
Nah, so that applies today. That shit ain't changed. What are you talking about? Everybody, like all of them have handlers. That's why they can't do anything. Going back to that conversation.
Why you think they can't do? They can't do but so much here. Why you think most of these big celebrities go and do everything in Africa? They're not allowed to do anything here. Because anything big that they do here is it's perceived as them trying to help us step up as a nation. You know, and technically we're a nationless, stateless people. And people be like, I'm an American. Okay.
Well, they are. They can't. You can't say that they're not an American. Like it don't matter like what continent. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. You are an American, just like somebody from South America. They're in fucking America, Central America. Like I had a conversation with somebody from Jamaica, and I was like, "You're a North American." They was like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "They're like I'm Jamaican." I'm like, You're still an American. Like you come here and you think that you became an American, but you was already an American before you got here. You know what I mean? It's just the whole mind twist that they have the people in, where it's like,
Yeah, they don't. A lot of people they don't view Jamaica as North America, and it's weird.
Yo, hang on. Meech, you've been quiet. You want to chime in? Tammy, you want to chime in? Y'all want to? What's going on?
Well, the only thing I gotta say is going back to
Oh,
what
okay.
we were
I thought
talking
we were
about
on break or
earlier.
something because I was like, is somebody talking or is it just quiet?
No, I'm actually talking. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
I can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
I don't know if Tammy can hear because Percy
Yeah, I can't. I
and
don't think I can hear.
yeah, Percy and Step Into the Light were talking this whole time. So if you only hear me,
Oh, wow. Yes.
oh
Okay,
wow,
I'll get out. I'll get out and come back in.
okay,
All
go
right,
ahead,
but
Meech.
this is my thoughts going back to like when we were building, getting torn down, like with the Black Wall Street and in other communities that we've built that are basically graveyards now when it comes to us as a people. The biggest issue why we can't build and sustain, like build up a community and really sustain and be good, is because there's no industry in the US that we control. If we controlled an industry, like some type of major industry, they would have to leave us alone because then, we'd have the power to flex on that particular industry. Since we don't have an industry to call our own as Black people, yeah, we're talented in a lot of industries. We're the talent in a lot of industries like sports, entertainment, stuff like that. I can't remember who it was that said it, but they mentioned something like the same thing that I mentioned, that we don't control the industry and we don't have like a real commodity that we own and control. And they were like, it's really just blood and sweat. Like that's what our commodity is, because we're always the talent, right? Even going back to slavery days, we were the ones, we were the talent, I guess you could say, that picked all the cotton and made these white people the money. Same thing with a lot of these big industries, right? The movie industry and the music industry. The Jews control that industry. When you look at like steel and even like Silicon Valley and all of that, it's mostly whites, Asians, and other people who control those industries. We as Black people don't have an industry where we can really flex our muscles when they come and tear down one of our communities to be like, all right, so this is how y'all want to do us. Y'all ain't getting no more of this from us. I'll see that's one of the issues why we can't build up and they leave us alone, because we don't have an industry that we control, that we can lock them out of.
I just think I agree with you, but again, I feel like eminent domain plays a big part. Plays a big part in it because
Right.
no matter what, they can come and say, "Yeah, we need this land."
Hey, have you heard of allodial title?
Mm-hmm.
So you think that that works, or is just if they want it, they're taking it regardless.
Not too many people are using that. A lot of people don't even know about it. And I think when it comes to us, they'll find a way.
Yeah, I was saying like Texas is starting to give allodial titles like to when people buy houses. But that's where I'm at now. Like that's really the only way that I will really invest in stuff in here, unless it's just like I'm making money off of it. But like as far as like building a house, like I would have to have a allodial title on that land. And like where I'm going is like I'm not gonna be around a lot of people. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna need nature and seclusion. Like that's about it. But yeah, like most people, like how you were saying, like the allodial title, they have no idea what that is, and that's something that they should really like look into.
So it says it does not function as a way for individuals to achieve absolute ownership and escape their legal and financial obligations. Historical context is not a modern reality on allodial title.
And
So
yeah, a lot
yeah.
of paperwork. You better have a lot more paperwork.
Well, it says that no escape from taxes or laws in the U.S., no form of title, including claims of allodial title, exempts a property owner from obligations like paying property tax, complying with zoning laws, or being subject to eminent domain or foreclosure.
There go that subject. So it's like you never own anything that you buy.
That's what, yeah, that's what I said. You never, you might own the house, but you damn sure don't own the land, and you barely own the house because if you don't pay your taxes, they'll come and take it.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
All
now
right.
the one thing that I agree on is getting your house through a trust, so this way if something happens to you, your children aren't caught up in having to pay that tax. Now that works.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
All right. I'm about to move on to another video. All right. Y'all cool with that?
Yep.
All right. I don't know what this is. I'm just clicking on it. Oh, what happened? Light dropped off. Oh, there she go. Are we moving on to another video? Like,
Okay.
That's where, first of all, Miss Piggy, you see a light skinned black woman. Stop trying to claim these features. And since we're just
okay, her saying you see a light-skinned black woman. The comment says you look pretty damn white to me. You're more about to be killed by your fellow. You're more likely to be killed by your fellow black person than you are to be killed by a white person. That's what she's responding to.
that's where, first of all, Miss Piggy, you see a light skinned black woman. Stop trying to claim these features. And since we're just throwing out stats, I like to be real specific. FBI website. So your children have a 60% chance of being fucked by their father. Mm-hmm. If you have pets, it's a 93% chance he's gonna fuck that too. Mhm.
That's
And
crazy.
it's a 61% chance that he's whooping your ass. So you got bigger things to worry about than me.
Yeah, I don't know about those percentages, especially that the pet screwing one.
Oh no,
That's
they the
a
biggest.
high percentage.
They the biggest
Hey,
partakers
they
in
the one.
bestiality, right?
Yeah, they the one
That's
pointing.
still a
They
high
the one.
percentage though. 93% chance that you're gonna screw your own pet. That's a high
So
percentage.
again, it depends on the sample size that the
Yeah, the statistic was taken in there.
right.
They
Yeah,
only
but I'm pretty sure she was talking to all white folks. So that's a high
but
percentage.
that's how stats work. They take a sample size and extrapolate
Mm-hmm.
a percentage.
Regardless, 93% is wild.
Oh yeah, I agree.
That's
But
what
think
that's
about
all
it.
I'm saying.
Hey,
93% is wild.
Well, you
hey,
gotta look at it. Most of the diseases, sexually transmitted diseases that we have, come
Nothing
from white
about
people.
93% chance they can
Hold
screw their
on,
pet
hold
is
hold
gonna
on.
justify that. 93% is wild. A
Listen,
93% chance, that's
apparently they was doing something because this is why we got all these sexually transmitted diseases from
yes,
these
I
motherfucking
agree
fucking
that they
animals.
do stuff, but 93% is wild.
it's wild. Yeah, it could be an exaggeration, but they are known for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen videos of them doing it,
Me,
but
right?
I ain't
And
seen
I ain't never seen
that
one
many
that's
videos to think that all of these white folks, 93% of them is
well.
gonna screw in their pets.
But
Yeah,
that's
well, I
but
don't
they
think
not doing it publicly,
93% of us is killing people either.
right?
What'd you say?
She said, I don't believe that the percentile that 91% of us is killing each other either. There wouldn't be no more of us if we was killing each other at that rate.
I mean, that's also wild too. But I think that was a different stat. I think they were saying the odds was 91%, not
Yeah,
at
the
91%. Same thing with the pets. The odds that 91, 93% they're gonna screw their pet, that's wild.
Right. You
Hello?
lose that bet. You're not on mute.
All right,
You're not on mute. Mute. Yeah.
Why? Okay, so this is where I have a problem at. When it comes to us, it's like, okay, yeah, that happened. That percentage is right. But soon as it come to white people, I don't believe that.
Well, the stat she said was the odds. The odds and the percentile is different. You know, it's like the odds of
They did that
me.
shit.
The odds of me beating Mike Tyson in a fight is like negative 300. You know what I mean? That's the odds.
They did that shit.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm with you. I believe that. I know they did. I've been to people's house and the first thing they pet dog do is run up and sniff you in your crotch. Like, hey, what this dog doing, man? What's going on? Like, what the problem is? What y'all didn't train this dog to do. You know what I'm
Crazy
saying?
as hell. Like, wait a minute, like, man, hey,
Right.
I feel that. I mean, hey, go get your dog, man. Go get your
Yeah,
dog.
what you to train this dog to do, man? All right, here go another video.
This Gerard Jackson story is so fucking crazy. The Nolan Wells story has been so fucking loud. This story hasn't been getting no fucking attention. Have y'all heard the fuck going on? How they lynched that boy? Nigga, this is an obvious cover up, fam. Let me lay y'all down the story just a little bit. So there was a pretty much situation in which they're in Illinois. Gerard Jackson rented a car with his friends to go to this festival and shit. You feel me? And on 6 days ago, there was the police was called in which there was an altercation amongst him and the group. Okay, all right. That following morning, okay, was when those boys told the police, his homeboys told the police that we last saw him around Gerard around 10 a.m. that morning. This is the following morning, okay, all right. 2 p.m. he ended up dead, hanging in the fucking tree. His car, the car that he rented, was found 2 or 3 miles away from where he was fucking hung. Okay, And not only that, during that time while he was already fucking dead, his Apple Watch was used at a local gas station and his Apple Pay with his phone and shit. And he didn't have his phone on him, dog. He didn't have his phone on him. You feel me? The little white boys and shit who he was with, they returned home. I said, oh, we haven't heard from him. You feel me? Like he went AWOL. He went missing. The same Nolan Wells type of situation. You feel me? So his parents found out the death through the news. Okay. So the parents had to call the police station, like, what the fuck going on with my son? They were like, well, yeah, he's deceased and da. We'll give you more details later. All right. Hours passed by. Later on that day, his stepfather called out to the police station, like, what the fuck happened to my son? Oh, you didn't hear? He was hung. No, he was hung. He killed himself. It's listed as a suicide. The death has been listed as a suicide. So they proceeded the following day, okay, to get the funeral home to pick up the body from the coroner, okay? All right, and as the funeral home was proceeding to go pick the body up, the coroner said, hey, no, you can't pick up the body because there's been an emergency, okay, cremation on the body. We doing a cremation and the case has already been fucking solved. Hell, hold on. Because they said they were going to do a cremation because there was no next to kin. There was no next to kin. Hold on. We've talked to the police on multiple occasions. What the fuck you mean? So they was going to get ready to cremate the boy, okay, without even speaking to the family. So it was an obvious fucking cover up, dog. Bam, there's a war going on out here. And black and brown people is the motherfucking target, fam. It's the target.
Don't look like nothing had changed in 100 years, man.
There was a lady I think on the 4th of July in Florida that was found hung. And that nobody talked about that at all.
Oh, you already played. Did you play that other one live or did you do it backstage? The dude who said I think you did it backstage when the other person on July 4th, the dude that was hanging with the 3 white guys, and he came up missing. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make them come up missing.
Oh yeah, that's a little provocative.
You played that one backstage, huh?
Yeah, that's a little provocative. This one might be provocative though too, this next one.
Everybody need to watch this video. No one could explain this better. Check it out. Let me know what you think.
Said a black came in and stole your mother's car. I said that black male who stole your mother's car gives that car to his son. And I asked you, is it still your mom's car? You said yes. I said, okay. Yes. Then if the son gives that car to his son, it's still your mother's car.
Yes, it is still my mother's car.
It's still your mother's car. No matter how many times they pass on that car, it's still your mother's car. Is that correct? I agree with you there. And what I'm telling you is you guys showed up and you stole resources, you stole land, you stole diamonds, you stole emeralds, you steal gold, you stole people's lives, you stole people's histories, you stole their futures. But let's just talk about the diamonds, for example.
Can I stop you there?
No, don't stop me there. Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Let me finish. No, you're saying it's not you. Let me finish. You stole all these resources, which we also call wealth. And that wealth from the people who stole it directly was passed on to their sons. And then their sons passed it on to their sons. And then their sons passed it on to their sons. So you're still holding something that was stolen by your forefathers and you've not given it back. Just like we took the example that you claimed a black person stole your mother's car. Well, no matter how many times they pass that down to their son, it was still stolen and it needs to be returned to its rightful owner. And that is why I say Europe for the Europeans. You guys need to go home and give up what you stole.
I watched that whole live the other day. That's ironic.
Man, some of this stuff is like don't even need no commentary. Like it's hitting.
And what's crazy is they want to complain about reparations. It's like we can't even at least get that when you consider all the stuff that y'all stole.
Well, that's the thing. That's the whole FBA argument right now because we have what they call tethers, right? speaking for us, saying we don't need reparations. And they got on this girl so bad the other day. I had Timothy is cracking up. I sent him a live, but they got on this girl because she was Jamaican, and they was like, "Well, what do you mean we? Like, what do you mean we? You're not a foundational Black American. You have no dog in this fight." And she was like, "Well, I was born here." He was like, "And your parents weren't. You came here an hour ago." I was like, "What?" But it's a lot of them. It's the Haitians, like all of them are speaking out against us wanting reparations, saying like we're looking for a handout and all this crazy shit. Like it's a lot going on.
Really?
Now,
They really say a
Percy,
handout?
Percy, you believe in the way you believe. How did you feel about the foundational Black American standpoint?
I don't understand it. It's like I see that it was copyrighted in 2018 by Tyreek Nasheed, and then everybody started going off of that, off of what he was going. But then when he started off, he was talking about being the Moor. So I'm totally confused with the FBA movement. It's
Well,
like I, it's like I hear them like their argument, but to put the another title on yourself, a foundational Black American, when like what is that? Like it doesn't. There's no lineage in foundational Black American like as a word. Like it totally confuses me.
well, it's not like a movement, it's just who we are. Like basically, we can go back hundreds of years and our families are from here. We're
Yeah,
Right.
but you
not right.
won't be called foundational Black American.
Well,
That's when you call yourself what you are. You don't give yourself another title that's just like the classification. Like you're just doing the exact same thing as
no, I
saying
get
over African American.
now that
It's
part I
really
agree with
really no
you.
difference.
I agree with you, but if you look at the overall the premise of it is that we've been here since the founding of America, basically, and before.
Yeah, we've been here.
But
We've been here
Right.
500 years, literally 500
okay,
years.
And we've been here like and before that, before the founding of America. And
okay.
so
So when you use the word here, this is remember that the conversation I was saying. I had a conversation with somebody from Jamaica. When you use the word American, right? You using it as if how the colonizer taught you how to use it. You using it like the colonizer. You're not saying that the word American is like anybody that was born on these continents. You are an American. So it's like when you use that term, like understand what that term is, and don't try to use it as the colonist as if that's something that you own. Is you really don't own it. Like Jamaican is a American.
American.
Somebody from
Yeah,
Guatemala, they are Americans.
yeah.
So it's like
Belizeans, all of them are Americans.
right, but that's
Yeah.
because that's if you but this is where I say that they've been successful at making us look at these lands different, right? They've absolutely been successful because when you say American, first thing people think is North America, right? When
And that's the way we
and
be.
that's it. I get it. I know those places. Jamaica is part of North America. I get it, but we're not taught that. We're taught when you say North America, we're taught from this side
Canada,
where I'm from.
Mexico.
No, not even Canada. Like Canada is Canada,
you talking about just the United States,
just the
just
United States. So
the
we
continental
that's
U.S.
why we look. That's why we look at these people as they're different from us because
Well, that's
it's a mind fuck. Like it's just a mind fuck for real.
well.
Yeah,
Talking to the few people that I talk that's from across the water when I be on my other page is they refer to the people of the United States as American because they that's even what they're taught. It's because this country is so prominent amongst all the other countries. So that's why Canada, even they acknowledge that all of it sits on the American continents, but they still identify the cultures as associated with each country. people from Canada are Canadians. People from Mexico are Mexicans.
Right.
People from the United States are not United Statians. We are
Technically, we are though. I actually had an argument with someone because it had something to do about the Lakers, and they were talking about like Steve Nash. They was like, oh, a white boy never been the face of that, and I was like an American white boy. I was like, well, Steve Nash is American. No, he's not. He's Canadian. I was like, Canada is in America. Oh no, you know what I mean? I said, no. I said, I don't know why United States basically takes the claim on America. Because like all of those countries, a lot of those countries that you just named, think about this. You got Spain, you got Germany, you got all these different countries in Europe, right? But all of them are classified as European. They don't. Now they also are named from their country, Germans, Spaniards, all of that, or Spanish, but they're also can be labeled as European. We're the only ones that when you say American, you don't include Brazil. You don't include Argentina. You don't include some of the stuff in South America, right? Like when you think American, you strictly think United States. And there's there's two main American continents, and then you got Central America. When it's like all of us are technically Americans.
Right. But you got, like I was saying, the reason why that's done, like what you just used, for example, they're classified as European because they have a European Union. They are the United Kingdom of the European nations. We are the United States. So everyone within the United States are called American because it's the United States of America. So we're called Americans. Everybody that's in the United Kingdom of Europe are called Europeans, even though they're French. Because technically, we're Californians. I was born in I'm a Californian. Somebody from Florida is a Floridian. She's a New Yorker. You see what I'm saying? So we still have those individual identities and cultures within too. It's just the union that we're under is the United States of America. So we are Americans because we fall under that union. Just like because Canada got states too. Canada got states too. There's Ontario, there's Edmonton, there's so they got Alberta, they got whole different state nations too. Mexico got the same thing.
Yeah, they just call them something different. But
no, they literally
nah, they don't. I'm glad you said that because it's so many different United States. Nah, bro, just if you look up how many different like states there are, how you were saying like Canada has like the different states, right? So even the term of the United States, like we kind of lost in that too, because like those are United States as well, which forms whatever like Canada. That's how country, we have right. Yeah. So it's like when I went overseas, like I would always tell them that I'm American, and then they'd be like from where, and I would just say like from California, and it would just like the way that they were asking is like they see it as each state as an individual country,
because
like how you were saying.
Because they can only project what they understand in their reality. Because in their reality, the European Union is a collective of nations. And guess what? This United States is a collective of individual nation states. California has its own law independent from the Constitution. They just governed by the Constitution. Arizona got laws independent. Every governor is like a president of each state.
That's facts. They all have a separate constitution. Every last
one. Every state has its own constitution. Absolutely. So that's why I said so. She's a New Yorker. We're Californians, Arizonians next door, Nevadans next door, whatever they call themselves in Oregon up top, and so on. You know what I'm saying? Washingtonians. You know what I mean? We just never think of it that way because we've been bred from childhood to we are one nation under God, indivisible. That's what we've been conditioned from birth. From as soon as we can learn to go to school.
We come from that Rambo era where it was like America was sex, love, and sex, drugs, and rock and roll, like all that violence and all that stuff. Like so, like that's the way like we relate the American, you know what I mean? And that's why I was just like, man, like when I hear the FBA, I hear colonization like inside, just like twice. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like that whole movement. I'd much rather the
Well,
people just find out who they
the
are.
the
Well,
whole
I
thing
think the
about the
FBA,
FBA,
the whole FBA thing is more about delineating from these other groups of people that they come here and they talk shit about us, but they often end up in our statistics.
right? Well, my
As
whole
black.
thing is like what I thought they were doing, and they kind of are doing it loosely, but they don't follow my understanding and my model, is because we've been here a half of a millennium, and a lot of people been here even before that. Even if we could go back and definitively say we come from these people, that's not who the hell we are today. We don't practice none of those cultures, languages, about so on and so forth. We've like I mentioned earlier in the live, we didn't reinvented ourselves 17,000 times. We are a whole, bless you, we are a whole brand new people. So yes, so I can absolutely
We are not
say,
those people from back then.
right. We are a culture. We have had our own ethnogenesis. We are a complete unique ethnic group. So the same way.
How is that? How is that?
We mean
Because
how is
the reason why I say that, if you look at us, it's a country in South America. It's called Suriname, right? If you look at Suriname and you look at like their slave trade, who sent slaves there?
Who was there, and then you look at the lineage of the people of the United States, they're almost identical. Same thing with like people from like Cape Verde or Cabo Verde, they're almost identical. So it's like it just like I hear it, but then when you go a little bit further, you see more.
But that doesn't, like what you said is real, but that doesn't negate one word I said. Because
It's not unique to just hear though.
Oh, of course. The difference is that those people may have been allowed to name themselves rather than been given a label, like we've been talking about this whole time. Like the whole FBA, that's us naming ourselves. The Chicano versus Latino. The Mexican people that I know, they say they prefer to be called Chicano because that is the name that they gave themselves. Latino is the Spaniards attaching the Latin heritage to them. And they're like, no, we don't. The Latin heritage is theirs. That's not us. We are Chicano. And Chicano is the same thing I just said about us. That's them having their own ethnogenesis. It's an ethnic, it's a brand new ethnicity being born because of an amalgamation of culture. They came over here. Some of their practices got mixed with some of these practices. Some of these practices got mixed with some of these practices. And now they are a whole brand new ethnic group. So they can't. So yes, they can say I got Mayan ancestors, but ain't nothing they doing today Mayan. So for us, like with you, like we can say, okay, we got Moorish ancestors. Ain't nothing. I don't do nothing that's Moorish today. Okay, that's where I came from. But culturally and ethnically, I'm not them. I might be them from a bloodline lineage, but we are a brand new people that have been so pivotal in the creation of the culture of this country that we've been beat so tough in the brain with it that we let them take it and just say we'll reinvent ourselves. Oh, they can rock and roll. I know we made up rock and roll, but they can have it. We'll make something else. Don't even worry about it. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, hip hop, yeah, I know we started that, but you know, they can come to the cookout. We don't even covet our own culture. So since we don't covet our own culture, we put ourselves in a perpetual loop of reinventing our own culture over and over again.
So spinning your wheel.
You know what I mean?
Like you're not gaining no traction. You're not setting nothing in the ground. Because like you can still do the exact same thing by not handing over stuff. I get it.
But that's the problem. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was saying that, and what you said is the problem, because we like you said, we're spinning our wheels in one breath. I'm gonna just use Sexy Red as an example because we all know who that is. In one breath, we'll say, "Oh, I don't know why they saying that. That's that's not us. We don't act like that. We don't do this, that, and the other." But then the little white girl come out, "Cash me outside. How about that?" She do it. Look at that white girl trying to be black. We can't have nothing. You see, it's
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like we can't. So it's like, which is it? We don't even know. We don't even know ourselves,
Right.
or we don't even cover our own culture enough to say that it's our culture. What you think, Meech? You over there pondering like a mud?
I mean, I agree. You know, I agree that I mean, I don't know if I would say we don't covet it enough, but you know, we are the most influential, because I just think that the stuff that we do, you know, as a culture, especially here in Black America, because Black Americans, we influence the globe. You know what I'm saying? We even influence other, you know, brown skinned people across the globe. And so I don't want to necessarily say like we don't covet it because they take it. It's just that what we do is just considered so cool to other cultures that they adopt it, right? So I was listening to something today, and I remember thinking, like, and this was like the show, whatever what I was watching, just full of white people, right? But some of the stuff that we create, it just becomes so. After a while, it's being repeated so much that it's just like now. It's like so ingrained that it just becomes American culture. So they were saying like, oh yeah, when such and such blew up, like that was something that we said, right? So now it's so ingrained to where everybody knows what that means now. You know what I'm saying? Like typically worldwide to know when something blows up, right? And what was the meaning before we created that alternate meaning? Something blew up. It literally blew up.
Right. Just like bad. just like if you was to say, look at that bad bitch right there, you would turn around expecting to see a female in some age misbehaving. And now look at that bad bitch is an absolute compliment. It went from who you calling a bitch to damn, you's a bad bitch. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like
But they literally take everything. They literally take what we say and change the definition. So they absolutely do hijack it.
Right. They appropriate it, and that becomes that, and that's kind of the thing I like about this newer, younger generation is that they kind of fighting for it a little bit more. Like I seen a video of a dude talking about "up" does not mean uncle; it means uncool. Like who the hell tell you? Who the hell told you that?
That's cold. But I'm trying to figure out like what slang, or you know, our cultural slang, or you know, ebonics like they used to call it back in the day. Like what have they taken and changed the meaning? I don't.
That's what
like,
they've been doing.
But what changed the meaning in what way?
So like example I just gave, like mean uncool and however else they wanted. They like woke.
They took woke. They take a lot of our stuff.
Yeah, they took woke and burnt it to hell.
Okay, now that one I agree. That one I agree they changed the meaning, because when we said woke, it didn't mean what they like the white version of it, to where when they use it now, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I remember we was using woke like 20 years ago, you know what I'm saying? If not longer. And now woke means, you know, like some like more political type thing, you know what I'm saying? When that wasn't what it was back in the day. For us, it just meant like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like you peep game, like you peep the game, like you see beyond what the average person can see. So you ain't sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Folks love the rhythm, but
I got a 3-minute video right here.
All right.
I did this maybe last year, the year before.
Folks love the rhythm, but reject the roots. Folks copy the culture, but cancel the people. Let's talk about how hip-hop, in all its forms, music, fashion, dance, and even the way they speak, is being repackaged, sanitized, and sold, while its connection to Black America gets erased. See, back in the 1970s Bronx, hip-hop wasn't just music, it was a way of life. A creative rebellion built out of neglect, poverty, police brutality, and urban decay. It gave birth to MCing, DJing, graffiti, breakdancing, and yes, slang, the language used to express pain, pride, wit, and survival. Slang. But because it was born from the mouths of Black people, in Black spaces, it was branded as improper, uneducated, or ghetto. Now fast forward to today. The same slang that once was judged, mocked, or denied opportunities, is now called Gen Z lingo. Now it's trendy. Now it's internet culture. Now it's marketable. Words like slay, riz, no cap, deadass, it's giving, and period, all rooted in hip-hop culture, all once shamed when it came from the Black community, to now becoming the language of influencers, brands, and viral clips. But let's be clear, that's not Gen Z slang. That's Black slang, hip-hop slang. And like the music it came from, it's being detached from its origin story. Now being used by the world, with none of the respect, credit, or consequences. Because when Black people used to speak it, they were told to talk properly. But when it's repackaged and repeated by someone else, they get likes, brand deals, and applause. That's not evolution. That's gentrification of language. The truth is, they didn't hate the slang. They hated who spoke it. They didn't hate hip-hop. They hated who created it. So now they take the sound, the style, the words, the walk, and leave the people behind. So how does an entire culture get stolen in plain sight? And why does it only become acceptable once it's separated from Black identity? Making sure the culture doesn't stay connected to its historical roots. Because when they say Gen Z slang, they're really just echoing Black voices while silencing the original voices in the process. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe.
That kind of sums it up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I got anything to say about that, or is just
No, it basically just sounds like what we was talking about right before you played the clip.
right? Put it all in the context. So it's like, man, this
Hey,
world we
so
live in. Huh? Go ahead.
I got a question. So, how many of y'all speak Ebonics? Nobody.
Define Ebonics.
I do.
I remember what the old school version was, but define what it is today.
Wasn't it like Ebony Phonics or something like that?
Yeah, it just meant Black Ebony Phonics, Black Phonics. That's what it meant.
All right. So why are you not putting that you're bilingual?
Because let me go find that. Let me go find that. That's something I was just talking about. Because in 1996, I was just talking to somebody else about that. I don't want to put my personal page on the screen. Let's see.
You know, it's like it's to the point that
All right,
we see this game, like we gotta play it.
look at this. So this is an article from 1997. It talks about how in the state of California, the full Ebonics revolution was adopted by Oakland, California school boards under the sanctioned by the state of California. And Oakland school board said that they did all the science behind it and found that it was a unique language that had roots in all of the different African languages, native languages, like any pidgin language would be. And they said that Black students were treated differently for speaking improper English that other students that had English as a second language were not being treated. So, you know, so the Black kids have been like, I'm finna go up around here. What you talking about? They would be like, you're speaking incorrectly. That's not proper English. But the Asian kid that no me no not pang whatever, they was just like, okay, oh, your English is, you know, you're getting better at it. You just gotta practice more. You know, they were treated different. So the whole thing about Ebonics was to identify the way we speak as a dialect of as a language. And you know what Black people did in 1996? Oh, y'all trying to say we dumb? Y'all trying to give us a nigga language? We don't want no nigga language. You trying to say we stupid? We don't know how to speak. We can't read. Oh, this is an insult. Now, interesting enough, 30 years later, we have the the California Post. Activists demand Black English be pushed in California schools. So exactly 30 years later, the same thing that Black people rejected, now they're trying to say, they want it. Yeah, they want it. They want to say AAV because they rejected the name Ebonics because it just literally meant Black phonics. So now African American vernacular English, like it's the same thing, man.
Like, stop it. You know what I mean? It's somebody trying to get paid somewhere. Like somebody gotta be the damn gatekeeper somewhere, bro. Like they need to stop. But like that's that little tidbit, y'all, for y'all out there. Y'all speak if you speak Ebonics, you're bilingual. So go ahead and start putting bilingual on your application. Right. Get that moolah, get to the chicken. You know what I mean? So thank me later. You know what I mean?
They're actually trying to incorporate it into schools now and make it a valid form of communication.
It is. Like, what do you mean? Like,
I agree with you 100%.
Right. See, when that happened in 96, I was 16. So, you know, I didn't have the level of cognition that I have now, because now I understand what the community rejected. They rejected one of the pillars that goes to identifying yourself as a nation, as an individual.
Yep, a tongue.
A native tongue, absolutely. So look at that. We reject the language. We don't cover the culture that we create. You see the issue. we always say that we was kings and all of these other fancies, but we don't even want to accept who we are right now today.
Right.
The greatness that we have, the greatness that we are right now. And since we don't acknowledge that or cover that, you get to see 5 little boys in Korea come out and do New Edition and call themselves K-pop. That's New Edition. They whole shit is New Edition. Be for real.
And it's interesting that you said it, because one of the premises for the approach to incorporate it into schools is a bilingual education approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you play the same game that everybody else is playing with you.
And actually, it's scientifically proven that by speaking more than one language, it increases your intelligence.
Yep.
Because now your mind has the capacity to differentiate the meaning of words and the meaning of different sounds, depending on which dialect you're speaking. And we've been code switching since we was forever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is, man.
Yes, sir. But all right, y'all, we had 1 hour and 45 minutes. Unless y'all got some more to say, we can kind of wind it down, because This was a good one. I wish we weren't all like more engaged, because this was like a good one that we needed to have, because this is a conversation that needs to be had about us as a culture, how we can come together and unify, because we're in a system right now where we don't even want to unify on who we used to be. Were we the Moors? Were we the natives? Were we Aboriginals? Were we the Israelites? What was this? Was it?
I think we were all of those.
And that's
And
what
we
I'm
weren't
saying.
more. We were actually MERS on this side.
I agree with that, and I stand on that. All of those things together over the past 500 years, a half a millennia, there's been miscegenation, amalgamation of culture, and we are who we are today. We are a whole brand new people. We had an ethnogenesis. We are a complete new and distinct ethnic group from all of those, but we are born of all of those.
Same people.
Yep. I just think that again, the history has been taught to us in such a way that a lot of us are so brainwashed into believing some of this bullshit they teach us.
And that brainwashing too, I think is what a lot of, because I've been noticing this movement online called the biracial movement, and I think a lot of that is like when it comes to these identities, like because the biracial people, like, I'm not black, I'm biracial, and everybody would be like, man, y'all black, get out of here. Y'all black, get out of here. That biracial notion of I'm not black, I'm biracial, that's how I feel about all of the history that we come from, because we got, like I said, it's 500 years of history of all these different cultures and practices coming in together, merging together, families mixing, native people marrying Moors, marrying Africans, just the whole, everybody mixing together, and they bring in a little piece of their culture and created a brand new culture. And that's what we are now. We are a culmination of all of that mixing that occurred over the past 500 years.
Listen, I think that when it comes to Ebonics, they have no choice but to allow it, because they didn't know what we was talking about. So they had to send in people to infiltrate and learn the language. That's how they was able to take down some of these major gangs and stuff like that, because once they learned what it meant, and that's when they could decode it.
Right, because the gangbangers were speaking Swahili. They were speaking Swahili. Damu and all of that. Damu. What was the other ones? I can't think of them right now. But yeah, they were speaking Swahili. Then in the 70s, we had Jive. That was a whole language.
Mm-hmm.
You said Jive.
That was the whole language. Let's just call. I'm just saying what it is. And you're right. And what happened? And
Say,
what happened?
brother, you jive turkey.
You're right. And right. All we can go by is the movies.
Yeah.
But that was a whole language that, what, like the movie said, it was exploited. Black exploitation.
Somebody making money off that shit. Follow the money, man. That's all. Follow the money, bro.
Look, Living Single came first. They said we want a white version of it. They made Friends. And interesting enough, Friends went on to be the biggest show ever, and Living Single got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
The people that played on Friends, at one point they start getting $1 million each an episode.
Nah, Friends might have been funny as shit.
I ain't never watched it.
I never watched it.
I've never seen an episode of Friends.
I'm not even gonna lie, I did, and it was funny. It was funny.
I mean, I like white shows. It's just Friends just didn't interest me. You know
Now,
what I'm saying?
I guess maybe if you would have watched it, then you would have liked it. Friends was fun. They was hilarious on Friends.
I mean, I've seen, bits and pieces of it, like when it was on back then, and then I would just look at it, watch a couple of scenes, and be like, nah, I'm cool. Married with Children was mine. Like
Yeah,
that was my
Married with
shit.
Children
Married
was
with
funny
Children was the
too.
joint. Yeah,
Yeah, like that
Roseanne.
was my shit. Married with Children. That's my favorite sitcom of all time. Is
Yeah.
Married with Children.
Married with Children and Roseanne, and that it could be something to the poverty culture that made that more identifiable to us.
Yeah,
Because
I
that was
mean,
a poverty
Living Single was the shit. And I remember when I first heard the story, how that inspired Friends. It still didn't make me want to watch Friends, but I was just like, dude, that's crazy. But Living Single, I mean, now as someone who's watched both, which one do you think was a better quality show, Living Single or Friends?
I'm gonna always go with Living Single, but it can't take away from the comedy of Friends.
Okay, so now, but let me ask you this: are you going Living Single due to a bias, or are you going Living Single strictly off of the quality? Because I want to know just strictly quality wise. Like, was Living Single a better quality show? Remove the bias.
I think they were both equally quality.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have a bias. So to be honest, I'm gonna say Living Single because but they both were quality shows, both of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, truthfully speaking, without the bias, you're saying that they were probably on, like, Friends was on par with Living Single.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So, I mean, which would make sense why it became so huge, because Living Single was a quality show.
Right. And they literally just copied the format.
Literally. Cut and
But see, I
paste.
come from the
But see,
days
but
of.
that-
I think we're all old enough. I come from the days of MASH and Cheers and those type of shows as well. So
Man, MASH at bedtime. When you heard that,
Right.
music,
I
that
just
shit
gonna say
didn't go
that,
to
like,
bed.
y'all a little older. You older than me then, because when MASH came
yeah,
on, it was
no.
time
Once
to bed.
MASH went off, the TV went off. The station went off.
MASH
What
always
I'm
came
saying-
on late.
Mhm.
Yeah, MASH always
What I'm
came on
saying,
late.
what I'm saying is when I heard that, okay, time to go to bed, Tim.
Dude, for real. That's
Yeah,
all
but
right.
that
It's
means
time to
you
go to
that
bed.
means you was up really, really late because
That's what I was gonna
MASH.
say.
Right, you had to be up really, really late because once MASH went off, the station itself went off.
Yeah, TV went off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When you heard that MASH noise, your ass probably was up way past bedtime. Because
I guess
then
that's why I didn't have a
started
problem
at
with watching some of the white shows that came on, like after we had that whole, black show going on. Because I used to watch Little House on the Prairie and those shows. So when we had our own shows, it was like, yeah, hey, this is the people that look like me. Yeah, this is dope and whatever. So I had no problem with watching the transition back into white shows after. You know what I
You
mean?
know what's crazy is, even though I knew I was a young black kid, I didn't look at it like that.
Timothy was being rude because he was talking.
I didn't look at it like, oh yeah, these people look like me, right? Because I was a big fan of, like, the Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, and a bunch of white shows, Airwolf, and
Wonder Woman and Bionic Man and the Hulk and all of that.
Incredible
Yeah.
Hulk, like all of those shows that came out. Because when you think about it, that's really all that that was to offer. You really didn't have black shows.
Right.
Then when the Cosby Show came out, for me, I wasn't fascinated with it simply because it was a black show. It was just that top quality of a show, to where it was like an event every Thursday at 8:00, Channel 4. I remember this junk like yesterday. A whole family will be watching the show. Now I get now that everyone else is watching it because, oh yeah, this is us on TV. I just love the Cosby Show because it was just a great show. Because
Well, we didn't think, like you said, we didn't think about it back then like that. But now that we're older, it was like, hey, because it was a whole lineup. Like we had a black show, every day of the week, just about.
I was gonna say, because we can't sleep on the shows that was running parallel at that time that made it through the 70s. Good Times, What's Happening,
Mhm.
Sanford and Son, Facts
and
of
Yeah.
Life, Different Strokes.
Yeah. I love me some
Yeah, I
Sanford
remember
and
all
Son.
those shows. Like I remember,
Yeah.
like TV was different. Like I think the part of the issue today when it comes to that type of content, it's just too much content. Whereas back then, you literally, like, Thursday was Cosby Show, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It's a cultural
each
event.
day, we was excited. You remember, like, cartoons, after school cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons. Like,
Them was the
kids
only
don't have
cartoons.
that experience no more because it's just too much content.
Everything
Like, you can get
on
anything that
demand.
you want right there on your tablet,
On
already ready to
demand.
go.
On
But
demand.
we had
right.
to
There's
wait.
no
We
waiting.
had to wait
Yeah.
till Thursday to watch the Cosby Show. Or we had to
But
wait
see-
until after school to see cartoons. We had to wait until Saturday morning to see, you know what I'm saying, all of our favorite cartoons and stuff. We had
That-
to wait.
that actually goes together why this generation of kids are not as tight units as we were either, because since those things occurred only one day a week, everybody watched it at the same day. So
Yep.
so Monday, I forgot what day Monday Martin came on, but I'm just using that as an example. So Martin came on last night. When you went to school the next day, you went to work the next day. Oh, you see Martin? Oh yeah,
Everybody was talking about it.
right. Because
Everyone
it
was talking about
was a cultural event that everybody watched at the same time. And if somebody missed it, they'd be like, "Oh man," because you know, if you didn't have a VCR, if you missed it,
You missed it. You had to wait
missed
for a rerun. Remember that you had to wait for the
Yeah.
rerun to see the episode. I remember we all used to go to
That's
well,
the
a few of us
right
went to
order.
school. A few of us went to school with like Homie the Clown socks, and we was whacking people.
that,
We be
that's,
sitting there
that's,
hitting people like, bow.
that's what I'm saying. That's a cultural thing.
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a part of our ethnic group because that was our Saturday Night Live.
Man. And Living Color was no joke. When you think about how great it was in the beginning days, it kind of, you know, the quality dipped because all of the main talented people
No, they sold it.
blew up. They all blew
sold
up and left.
No,
What'd
they
you say?
sold it. They sold it.
Oh, you talking about the Wayans?
Yeah, they
The Wayans
sold it. Yeah, they sold it, and that's when it went because the people didn't know how to keep the show going the way that the Wayans ran it. They thought it was just a black Saturday Night Live. So it's like, okay, well, the black people are gone. We'll just do Saturday Night Live and it'll make it. And people was like, we already got Saturday Night Live. We need that for it. The whole reason we went to watch it is because it was the black version that had black senses of humor with it.
Well, I wouldn't even say just because it was a black version. In Living Color was real edgy compared to Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live was safe.
You know why?
No, it
Living Color
wasn't.
was edgy.
Well, no,
Compared to
Saturday
Living
Night-
Color, Saturday Night Live was safe.
Saturday Night Live was edgy in a different version of edgy. See, you got to remember,
Because remember Eddie Murphy
we
kill
can
all the white people.
right? Kill the white people, right? That's a joke that only Eddie could do, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's what made it in Living Color so that much better. Is it was a cast full of us making fun of ourselves, and so therefore they can never be accused of any type of racism or anything like that.
Yeah, it was a cast full of Eddies compared to just the one Eddie on Saturday Night Live, the one token.
Right.
It was a
They was
cast
on
full
there.
of Eddies.
Like I got how many jobs you got, man? You got
Man.
one job, you lazy boy. I'm the mailman, the postman, I'm the
The
undertaker,
Headleys.
the
Was that the Headleys?
No, that was the
Jamaican.
No, I know that, but so the Headleys were the ones with the booty heads.
I think that's what they was, yeah. Or they was the Buttmans. It was something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all remember? Do any of y'all remember Benson?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I forgot the actor's name, but the black dude.
Richard Guillon or something like that. He had a French name. He had a French name. I think he was Haitian.
Yeah, and come to think of it, they had a possessed child in the house.
Yeah, the Jamaican family's called the Headleys.
Oh, they were called the Headleys?
Headleys.
Huh?
Yeah, they were called the Headleys. Hedley. The Headleys.
I'm talking about on Benson. Y'all don't remember that?
What did you say about Benson?
They had a possessed child in the house on Benson.
Like real life, or they had an episode about it?
Plenty of episodes.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember that. I don't remember Benson as much as I remember Benson, but I didn't watch a lot of episodes of Benson.
Am I showing Timothy? Am I showing my age? Am I showing my age?
I remember Benson because I watched Benson with my mom. So Benson is one I remember because me and my mom watched Benson. Me and my mom watched In the Heat of the Night, you know what I'm saying? But then me and my dad, we had our joints. Me and my dad would watch Knight Rider. We would watch Columbo. We would watch Airwolf. Like that's when we said Airwolf. I was like, oh yeah, Airwolf.
Airwolf.
We would watch Spencer for Hire.
Oh
You know what I
wow.
mean?
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, that used my stepmom, because when I used to watch that show, that's when I lived with my stepmom and my dad. She was in love with Hawk, boy.
Everybody
Man, she was in love with that nigga.
Oh, everybody, mama and aunties was in love with Hawk.
Hey, but Hawk was a cool dude though. Like as a matter of fact, he was probably one of the OG bald-headed black dudes with the goatees before they became popular. So like before R. Kelly and what's that dude Joe from Guy, you know what I'm saying, became popular, it was Hawk.
Yeah, Richard Roundtree. They had a lot of them in the 70s.
No, Richard Roundtree wasn't bald with a goatee, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like Hawk was the one who popularized that look. You know, it's a trip. I meant to share it with the
Aaron Hall.
With the Aaron Hall too. I think that may be who I'm thinking about is
But
Aaron
he
Hall.
wasn't always bald. Aaron Hall wasn't always bald.
Yeah, R. Kelly wasn't even always bald.
Yeah, I mean R. Kelly. See, but that's what I'm saying. R. Kelly, he shaved his head bald. He didn't have to be bald because he still grew. To this day, he grows a full head of hair.
Because
So that was just, it was just the style.
he jacked Aaron Hall's whole style.
That's a conversation for another day.
Nah, he actually he jacked Aaron Hall's whole style down to pedophilia.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. We got the 2-hour mark, y'all. So go ahead and wind it down. Which next week we can y'all want to do another one of these reactions, or y'all want to kind of come up with something? Because I had a few ideas. But you know,
I'm probably not gonna be on the next
couple of them. Okay.
I think we had a great
I may be able to hold on, let me see. I may be able to be on the following Tuesday, just not this Tuesday coming up. So not this Tuesday coming up, but then the following Tuesday. Yeah, I may be able to be on the following Tuesday. Because I'm finna
I think we had a great conversation, guys. A great conversation.
Yeah, and y'all gotta catch up, tune in tomorrow. Me and Light doing the show tomorrow. I'm trying to find
Yeah, I wanted to see if
I watched I watched some of the last one I recorded. I haven't watched it yet. I watched a little bit of it. And then
okay. You
my
didn't
son,
watch
my
enough
son
to
in
get it.
town. Well, I mean, I have it recorded on here though, so I can go back and watch it to see what y'all was talking about.
That's what I was gonna say. You didn't see enough of it to where you have an idea of anything to comment, but
nah.
Yeah, I wanted to see if Tammy was going to join us tomorrow.
Oh, she dropped off. Yeah.
I know. Because, you know, I don't want to, it's going to be a whole bunch of men up there. Bunch of men's.
Yeah. The men's. So yeah, y'all, this tomorrow right here is spirituality versus religion. What do they mean to you? What does spirituality mean to you? What does religion mean to you? What's the difference between the two? And because you know how people be like, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, and you be like, well, what's spiritual? And they be, I just.
Hey, maybe can somebody reach out to the sister and see if she is able to join us tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll text her.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go hop in the shower.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna give me some food in my belly.
All right.
All right,
Later,
y'all.
Good night.
Good night. Everybody hit the like, share, and subscribe, and check us out tomorrow on Paradigm Shift 314, Paradigm Shift TV 314 on YouTube tomorrow. Check out Step Into the Light.
Where the cheese at?
It's the Average Black Man Show, talking about everything you need to know. Sometimes things may get a little heated, but these conversations are needed to help the community heal and grow. It's the Average Black Man Show, talking about everything you need to know. Sometimes things may get a little heated, but these conversations are needed to help the community heal and grow. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.